Hey everyone, this is Brittany Dahl, licensed clinical marriage and family therapist. And today we're going to be talking about the science of incense and sage. So, this is something that I come across quite a bit in my clinical practice because I do have some things around my office that people think are a little woo woo, kind of out there. Are you a witch? What's going on? What's wrong with you? But it's actually science based. And so, I wanted to share with you the science behind what might seem a little woo-woo and out there. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Today we're talking about the science of incense and sage. All right. So I've got a few things here with me today. I've got some incense that I burn quite often. I've got some Palo Santo sticks, some little sticks of wood that you can burn. Of course, got some crystals. And behind me, I've got my salt lamp that you might be able to see back there. So let's talk about why would I have these in my office and why is it important to discuss with our clients what's actually going on and to help them understand that this is not really something to be scared of, but it's actually science-based. So, okay. Is it all woo-woo stuff? That's what I talked about. I have quite a few clients who say this, and they're a little bit skeptical at first about why I might be burning sage after clients or before clients come in, or I have incense burning around my office, or I have crystals, or I'm burning some Palo Santo. Kind of wondering what's going on. Is it all woo-woo? They kind of wonder if I'm kind of into new agey kind of stuff. So let's talk about what is really going on when you burn incense and when you burn sage. It really all comes down to ions and the power of negative ions. So negative ions are odorless, tasteless, and visible molecules that are in the air that once inhaled, it creates, it produces a biochemical reaction. So these negative ions get into our blood, it increases serotonin, it alleviates depression, it helps relieve stress, it helps boost energy. It increases the blood flow or the oxygen in your brain so that it gives you more mental clarity, helps you to think better. So we're talking about negative ions that are in the air. They also, one of the great things, if you have anybody in your household that has allergies that are really bad or asthma, anything like that, negative ions actually are so negatively charged that they attach to allergen and pollutants in the air and they pull them down to the floor or down to any surface so that they cannot be inhaled. So if you increase negative ions in the air, you're going to notice a decrease in allergens and pollutants that are in your air as well. So what about positive ions? Think about your workplace, where you are right now. We're doing Zoom over a computer. I've got my cell phone sitting in front of me. Got the air conditioner running. These are all producing positive ions in the air. So cell phones, computers, air conditioners, strong winds, pollutants in the air, fluorescent lights, any kind of toxic carpeting, the paint that's on your walls. You might notice, like, if you get something new and it has that like really strong chemically smell, it's most likely putting a lot of positive ions in the air. If you've got a photocopier running. So really thinking about any kind of work environment that we work in, there's going to be an increase in positive ions. So what do positive ions do? When positive ions are in the air, they make you feel sluggish. They make you feel tired. They make you feel anxious. You might have trouble breathing. Again, because those negative ions aren't there, you're going to have more pollutants and more allergens in the air. You might get headaches. You might get migraines. You might be irritable. You might have trouble concentrating. You might get nauseous. All these kind of things because there's an increase in positive ions in the air. So what do we have to do? Think about a magnet, strong versus, or the positive versus negative, right? So we want to make sure that we're increasing negative ions that are in the air. And there are many different ways that we can do that to decrease the amount of positive ions. So think about your workspace. If you have all of these positive ions being kicked up all the time, you want to try to decrease the positive ions. And you can do that by increasing the negative ions. So how's that going to happen? In your workplace, it can be as easy is burning some sage in your environment, burning some Palo Santo, burning some incense, putting some crystals around, plugging in a salt lamp. All these things are going to be giving off negative ions. Now think about some of the places where you feel the best, where you might really notice, whoo, I can breathe. I feel so good. Like if you're in the car driving and you open the car window and suddenly you're like, ooh, that fresh air, it just feels so good. I can finally breathe. If you're by the ocean, a lot of times people are like, when I'm on the beach, I just feel so good. The beach is one of the places with the most amount of collective negative ions on the planet, or in a dense forest. If you're surrounded by a lot of woods, how good that can feel. It's because there's an increase in negative ions. After a thunderstorm, you might notice that you feel more peaceful, you feel calmer. Being by a waterfall. These are some of the places where just it happens most naturally in nature that there's this increase of collective negative ions. At home, like I said, incense, sage, crystals, Himalayan salt lamps. But one of the best things that you could do is just running your shower. Taking the shower in the morning is one of the best places where you can actually, this churning up of water churns up all of these negative ions. So it's one of the places where I recommend that clients really take a pause every single morning when you're in the shower to practice some mindfulness and be aware of the negative ions that are surrounding you as you're in the shower. Really breathe in that steam, breathe in how good that feels to be taking that shower, and be mindful about it. I don't know about you, but in the shower, usually I'm thinking about what I have to do that day. I'm thinking about arguments with people that I'm winning in my mind, thinking about all the things that I have going on. I'm not really being mindful of how good this feels, how thankful I am to have warm water, how good this feels to be in a shower, and that I'm experiencing negative ions right now to give me some mental clarity and to help me prepare for my day. So there's some things to be thinking about. There have been many different studies on negative ionization, but there's one in particular where when they studied the people using negative ionizations for at least 30 minutes, there was a definite significant decrease in depression and anxiety with all of these, with the participants. So that's it. Just wanted to encourage you to maybe go grab some Palo Santo, grab some sage, burn some incense, especially if you're noticing that you're feeling kind of sluggish, kind of tired, not doing so well. I actually am coming off of COVID, having COVID. So I'm really trying to increase a lot of this in my environment right now as well, taking a nice steamy shower as much as I can too. So I hope that was helpful, that you understand that this is not just about some weird new agey spiritual stuff. There's actually a lot of really good science underneath it. I hope that was helpful. If you want to find me, I have a website, www.brittanydahl.com. You can find me on Facebook as well at Brittany R. Dahl, trauma therapist, on Facebook. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will talk to you soon.